Samsung is back to win our trust in 2017 with its flagships, the Samsung Galaxy S8 and the S8 Plus. The S8 Plus is the bigger of the two, and so it comes with some bigger expectations. How does it do in our review? Let's check it out. The S8 Plus is made up of premium materials, a solid metal frame covered front and back with Gorilla Glass 5. While the footprint is about the same as the S7 Edge, the screen itself is much taller. Tiny bezels on the top and bottom allow the screen to take up almost the entire front surface. It's also IP68 certified for water and dust resistance. Aside from this, it's just a beautiful phone to look at. Ours is a glossy midnight black. The sloping edges and curved glass add a sense of elegance. And let's talk about the curved screen for a minute. Samsung calls it the Infinity display, and it's 6.2 inches in diagonal. The display is absolutely gorgeous. Content on the phone spills over the sides along the curved glass. The added vertical space makes the smooth mirrored surface seem massive. While curved screens aren't new, the Galaxy S8 Plus brings it to the next level. Subjectivity aside, our tests confirm that the display panel is one of the brightest. It's vibrant, with great contrast and legibility in sunlight. The size of the S8 Plus's screen has a drawback though. There's an unusual aspect ratio because of its height. That means that most videos are either presented with bars on the sides, or are stretched or cropped to fit. With the bars in place, the functional screen size for video is about the same as the Galaxy S7 Edge. To shave the bezels and make the screen taller, Samsung have replaced the physical keys with on-screen ones. But we've already seen this elsewhere. What we haven't seen is that the area beneath the home button is pressure sensitive, so it even works with the screen off. It vibrates when pressed, and the feedback helps to give it a tactile feel. On the top of the S8 Plus, you'll find the slot for the SIM card and the microSD. This time around, the fingerprint reader is on the back, next to the camera. The setup is awkward. When hunting for the reader, you can easily smudge your lens. But you get alternative authentication methods too, such as iris recognition and face recognition. Samsung has placed a lot of focus on Bixby, its new virtual assistant. You can summon Bixby with a dedicated hardware button on the left. We have a USB-C port on the bottom, and next to that, the single speaker. It's quieter than many phones. We gave it a loudness rating of average. We really wish we had stereo speakers. Luckily, we have a 3.5mm jack, and high-quality AKG headphones that came bundled with the S8 Plus. The phone runs on Samsung UX on top of Android 7.0 Nougat. We found the UI to be simple and easy to use. The always-on display is located on the lock screen, and provides notifications, a clock, a calendar, and a home button. The app drawer is available with a single swipe down on the home screen, or you can have all of your apps available like on iOS. The notification shade is hard to reach one-handed on this tall screen. In multi-window mode, the windows are completely resizable, unlike some competing phones like the LG G6 and the Google Pixel. Edge panels are back from the S7, but new to the S8 series is a Smart Select function. It crops and screenshots a portion of the screen, which can be pinned or used for text recognition. The Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus has 64GB of storage, and is expandable. In some markets, the S8 Plus will come with a Samsung Exynos 8895 chipset. In others, like the US and China, it will ship with a Snapdragon 835 chipset. Both of these chips are the first on the scene with a next-gen 10nm process, and should have just about the same performance. Our Galaxy S8 Plus with Exynos 8895 dominated the pack in our benchmark comparison tests. The battery on the S8 Plus is 3500 mAh in capacity. Samsung says it's made its battery safety tests much more intensive, so hopefully, the issues of the Note 7 are behind us. The Galaxy S8 Plus has default adaptive fast charging, and is also able to charge wirelessly. On our Exynos-based S8 Plus, we were able to charge to 40% in 30 minutes, and to 100% in 90 minutes. Moving on to the camera, we have a 12-megapixel main shooter with f1.7 aperture and optical image stabilization. This is basically the same setup as the S7, but Samsung was able to improve its performance a bit with a new feature. We call it multi-shot stacking, and we've seen something like this before in the Google Pixel. Here, the camera takes several shots rapidly and combines them to make a sharper final image. The difference in quality is noticeable, especially in low light. We love this feature, and both the front and rear-facing cameras can use it. And about that front-facing camera, it's 8 megapixels and a big improvement over last year's. It can now use autofocus. Previously, the focus was at a fixed distance. It also has a feature called Virtual Shot. It's like an interactive selfie that moves as you tilt the screen. The S8 Plus has basically the same camera interface as the updated S7. One difference though is a bundle of new overlays for your photos. The main camera can shoot in 4K at 30 frames per second. There is both optical image stabilization as well as digital stabilization. But like in other phones we've seen, using both in 4K mode leads to a wobbling effect. So what's the verdict on the Galaxy S8 Plus? This is one of the most beautiful phones we've seen. The camera takes great well-balanced photos, and brings new features like multi-stacking, and the selfie cam is the best we've seen from Samsung. Of course, there are a few things that we think Samsung could have done better with this phone, namely, the awkward fingerprint reader. Also, the way video content doesn't quite fit onto the dimensions of the screen can be a little annoying. But these are small faults for an otherwise outstanding flagship phone. But if you have the cash, we definitely recommend checking it out. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to check out our detailed text review over at gsmarena.com.